What is up, and welcome back to Hockey's Pacific Revision. Pull up a chair because another one bites the dust. The Carolina Hurricanes have defeated the New York Islanders in 6. Here to wrap up this series is my co-host and a very handsome lad, Miguel. Welcome, Miguel.
Well, hello, Eric. Thank you so much.
Miguel,
You're not too bad on the eyes either, Eric.
Thank you. I'll let my mom know. She'll be proud.
You made some mighty fine work by your mom and dad.
Thank you. Miguel, talking about like mighty fine work. A lot of great matchups in the first round, right?
Yeah.
Your Edmonton, LA, your Toronto, Tampa. Even Seattle, Colorado's been kind of interesting from a far away standpoint, you know what I mean? New York and Carolina. Not sexy. Not sexy
at all. And a bit disappointing if you ask me. I went with the upset on this one, and I thought Islanders were gonna beat Carolina in this series.
Yeah.
And they didn't. Eric.
I could see why.
Carolina won the series 3-2 despite
4-2.
4-2, sorry. Despite Islanders having better goaltending.
Ilya Sorokin, good goalie.
Ilya Sorokin ended with a .923 save percentage, while Antti Ranta with a .906.
Are you surprised they went with Antti Ranta instead of Frederik Andersen?
I am very surprised. I thought Frederik. I mean, both goalies are like their better days are behind them, but I still thought they were going with Frederik just because. I don't know, Frederik, when he gets hot, he go on Spurs. He looked good on Toronto for a bit. And I can't remember the last time Antti Ranta looked good.
It's been pretty good. I think he had a couple games last playoff run where they ran through both those guys. Both those guys got hurt, and they needed Peter Kochetkov to come in. So they've always been kind of like anyone who can stand between the pipes. That's who we'll take. And Ranta was pretty good. I am going to check one thing, Miguel, because I do think I did cash this before Game 6 ended. And if you want to vamp for me real quick.
So, Game 6 between Islanders and Carolina did go to overtime.
By the way, Game 6, they brought in Freddie Andersen.
Paul Stastny with the overtime winner, the hero.
Vegas Golden Knight legend, Paul Stastny.
So you can say there was some accountability in Carolina.
By the way, you know what's funny though? Speaking of no accountability, your series with Winnipeg wrapped up. Did you happen to hear Paul Stastny explain his time in Winnipeg?
No.
He described that team as a team with no accountability, which is a little funny because I know what you're making fun of. Was Mass Pacioretty.
That is hilarious. It makes sense because Stastny and Pacioretty are like best friends.
So we could say Carolina, super accountable.
Apparently.
But yeah, it was impressive. Miguel, they brought in Freddie Andersen to close out Game 6. I guess they felt Ranta didn't give him enough of a boost in the first couple. They lost the first opportunity to clinch, of course. But I feel like it doesn't really matter who plays goal for Carolina. Like, they're really good defensively. Like I said, they were. They have one of the better scoring defenses in the league. Miguel, the problem is at forward, and you saw that. They struggled to score against the Islanders. Again, Islanders, what are they known for? Defense and boring.
Boring games. They will smother you.
And that's what this was, and Carolina lost another scorer. They lost Teuvo Teravainen. They're already short Andrei Svechnikov. They had 2 games of Max Pacioretty during the regular season. A lot of the key pieces for them to score are gone, and it's only round 1. Like, it's going to be hard for them to continue to grind out games, but they were able to do it against the Islanders. And as we saw, they had to earn every win.
Yeah, but it's hard to say because that's just the type of game Islanders play. They may go into the second round and light it up. I doubt it, but they could. It's just that's the Islanders have the ability to make any team look like
pedestrian,
they struggle
boring,
offensively.
Yeah.
Like that's how like Dallas Stars used to play. They no longer play that way. But man, I hate that type of hockey. It is boring as hell. Don't get me wrong. If my team did it, I'd probably love it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But man, do I hate it. It is so boring. But yeah, I mean, Carolina went off to a 2-0 lead. The Islanders won one. The Carolina won the third game in what was it, in New York, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they had the home advantage.
Mm-hmm.
They won 3-1. They could not close out. But man, they're like, we're not going home again, they said.
No.
Not in this round.
Spoilers. The time of recording, Boston and Florida is currently playing. They just showed the replay of that Stasny game winner. Oh, Sorokin's going to want that one back. Below the red line. Cheeky angle.
Yeah.
In.
Sebastian Aho ended with 4 goals.
Which one?
7 points this series.
Which one?
The good one.
Oh, by the way, that was. I hate to say this, but that was the most entertaining part of the series. Is just Sebastian Aho going against Sebastian Aho. We had the Sebastian Aho on Sebastian Aho hit in game 2. We had the Sebastian Aho, both guys in a penalty box at the same time in game 5.
Yeah,
and in this one,
great.
We had Sebastian Aho take a penalty on Sebastian Aho. What a series for Sebastian Aho, and Carolina was right.
We had Aho on Aho crime.
We did. They said one Sebastian Aho would come out winning, and luckily it was theirs.
But yeah, like I said, that series, Aho was a star. Brent Burns, 5 assists.
By the way, a couple of times he looked like old Brent Burns, kind of using that blue line. He still can't play defense for shit. But offensively,
he never could.
No, but offensively, he's pretty good. Also, that's what annoyed me, Miguel, because we've seen Brent Burns a ton when he was on the Sharks. Yeah, I was listening to the TNT broadcast, and they're just gushing over Brent Burns' offensive ability, which I'm like, yeah, makes sense. Still good. Yeah, right. They also called him a defensive stalwart, and I'm like, when?
What?
In what world has Brent Burns and defense gone together? I know he won the Norris for best defenseman, but that doesn't really go to the best defenseman.
He is literally the reason Vegas has dominated the Sharks for so long before he got traded.
I'm pretty sure that's Doug Wilson for signing terrible contracts.
Because Brent Burns, like I said, he can score goals, but man, that guy sucks at playing defense.
But he's in the perfect situation in Carolina.
Because Brent Burns is absolutely terrible at backskating.
He is.
That's where Vegas would always get him when he's trying to back up.
You know what? I'll even say more. He can backskate. You know what he can't do? He can't turn.
No, you're right. Even when Vegas played Carolina this year, he's backskating, goes to turn, falls, and we score.
He can't turn. This is why he was a forward, and they made him a defenseman. And he was a forward again, and then they made him a defenseman. So, I mean, he's not a terrible player. He's a really good player. It's just some TNT. Like, I'm just saying, defensive stalwart he is not, but he fits perfectly in Carolina because he has other people like Brett Pesci.
This is going to sound crazy. One thing I've noticed watching the hockey on national broadcasted networks.
Is it how bad it is?
Is, I don't know. It's got to be that it feels like the people talking about the sport don't know the sport, even though they're ex-players. And I don't know if it's because they're told to dumb it down for new, because I'm assuming they probably assume like, oh, it's playoffs. People that don't normally watch hockey will watch for the playoffs. So talk down like they're like the audience are idiots and they don't even know what offsides is. That's what it feels like sometimes.
My issue isn't that. Like, I think you need to do that. It's a new market. It's a new network that reaches a lot of households that NBC didn't. Here's my thing: is the fact that the NHL is just boring at everything that it does. Like, it doesn't do anything great. Like, TNT is probably the better of the two broadcasts between ESPN and them, just because they have more personality. But they're not doing anything extra to kind of make me care. And again, like, as much as I want to say, like, yeah, the series was good. It was defensively well. The fact that the NHL relies so much on rivalries and interdivision matchups in round one really hurt this matchup in terms of like interest. Like, this team has no real history with each other, playing two different divisions and never think about one another. I think that's where it hurt it. But another negative on that also. Like you don't really have like a lot of breakout stars. I think Sebastian Aho probably looks good, the Carolina one, because he had a brutal game 5 where a shot went off his face directly onto the stick of Brock Nelson for a goal, which has to be the worst way to allow a goal ever. But he came back, scored a goal in that game. I know they still lost, played well in this game. Sebastian Aho might be a legit guy who might get some real recognition. He scored a goal in game 6 also, so needed that one to tie it up. And
I feel like Sebastian Aho is one of those guys that's always been like quietly really good.
And it's the his market really.
Yeah, for sure.
It's market. He was a second round pick, so like again, not a lot of pedigree or hype off a draft either. So like what is he best known for? The fucking Montreal offer sheet that he signed.
That is true. The offer sheet, and for them being 2 of him. Like honestly, like, am I wrong?
No, but Sebastian Aho. Sebastian Aho is easily the best. I think Hurricane in the series. The Islanders had Sorokin. I think he's going to be a top 5 goalie in the future. He played well, keeping him in this.
Like I said, I mean, there's not too much for me to say about the series. Like, it was a bit boring.
I think it's exactly the way you and I kind of described it in our last episode before the playoffs. Is it was going to be a grind, and it was. And losing one of their better scorers in Teravainen when they already lost one of their top scorers in Svechnikov, not great. I don't feel confident in Carolina going forward, regardless of who they play in either New Jersey or New York. It's going to be tough for them. Their biggest issue last year was scoring. Their biggest issue the year before that was scoring. I think it's just going to be again.
Again, we'll talk about it when we get to that series. But if they have to play New Jersey with that rookie goalie that just caught fire, you know what I mean?
Hey, he's the one. We always said, like, there's a goalie that catches fire. And Schmid apparently...
He might be the one.
Schmid might be the guy for them. He's like at 933 in 2 games, and he's literally turned that series around.
There is always a goalie that comes out of nowhere in every playoffs.
And we might once we get to the second round, we might do a surprise person episode. That might be it for them. So
yeah,
man.
So for us here, you can find me. Or you got any last things to say?
No, I wish Carolina was healthy. Like that's the biggest bummer. But
because
it'll be interesting
to see them go far. But good for them. Congratulations and happy for their fans. For those still listening, you can find me not at the search storm, but you can find me at Miguel Kicks.
Listeners at home, I'm doing the storm search.
Erick, where can the people find you?
Twitter, Instagram at _Erick Rana. That's _ERICKORELL. Miguel, send us home.
Either way, thank y'all for listening and watching during these playoffs. We'll be back for more recaps when more series ends. I hope you all have a wonderful night, day, whatever. Good day at work. Bye. Peace.
Good night.
Peace. I don't know. That was weird.
Get it? Good night.